Hello, today we're going to be working with percent and trying to calculate the percent of a number. So if I were shopping and I found an item that cost $50 and there was an odd sale for 9% off, I would first want to calculate what that discounted price is. So the problem becomes 9% of $50. Well, I know that the word of will always represent multiplication. So if I were to do that, all right. And then I know that I cannot multiply by a percent because if you were to just think about it, 9 times 50 is going to give you 450, but it doesn't make sense to save $450. So what we have to do is change the percent into a decimal. If you remember the Dr. Pepper method, if I'm going from a percent into a decimal, that means I'm reading it backwards, so I want to go to the left twice. That leaves one open spot for a 0. So 9% written as a decimal is 0.09, but the price of the item is still going to remain 50. So that's the exact problem I'm going to type into my calculator, 0.09 times 50, and that's going to give me an answer of 4.5. Now, a couple things. We have to think about where we are at in this problem. This amount is our discount. That represents 9% of $50. So the first thing, that is not our final answer. The second thing, if we're dealing with discounts and money, I know I'm going to have a dollar sign in front, so now this number doesn't even make sense for money, no pun intended. I need that 0 at the end. Now it makes sense in terms of money. I'm going to save $4.50. So if the question asks what is my discount, that means I'm going to save $4.50. If the question asks how much will you pay for this item after your discount, I have to do one more math problem, which is subtracting the discount from the original price. So whether you want to do it by hand when you line up the decimal points, or you could use a calculator, I know my final answer is going to be $45.50 with my dollar sign. So that's one example of how to calculate the percent of a number. Let's try it again, but with a different method called the proportion method. If I'm going to shop for a new pair of Kobe Bryant shoes, which are quite expensive. So let's say it's $180.99. But I have a coupon that's saving me 25%, which is pretty good off of a new pair of Kobe shoes. This becomes my problem again. What is 25% of $180.99? Well, the proportion method is always going to be set up similar to that key and skeleton, where I'm going to have the percent out of 100. And then the vocab words we've been using are the words is and of. Those are kind of like your context clues for English. If you read any of those words, you know exactly where the numbers are going to go. So now I'm going to take this original problem and apply it to my proportion. The number on the bottom left will always be 100. The number above 100 is going to be the percentage. So thankfully, I do know the percent, which is going to be 25. Essentially, we just took the percent and made it a fraction. So it is no longer a percent. I'm not going to use the percent button right after the 25. So it's just a straight up 25 over 100. But now I have to figure out where's the only other spot for $180.99 to go. If I put it on the top, that means I already paid $180.99 and I'm trying to find the original price. Well, look at this buzzword right here. I see the word of, which means this is my total. The original price of the shoes is $180.99, and I'm trying to calculate a smaller amount, which is going to be the discount that I don't have to pay. So percent over 100 equals is over of, or part over total. I know the total of the shoes. I want to find a part. If you recall from the previous chapters how to solve these proportions, we always multiply diagonally, which would be these two numbers, and then we're going to divide by the third number. So with my calculator, 180.99 times 25, divide by 100, and oh my goodness, I'm going to write it on the screen for us. I got 45.2475. So a couple things again. I know I'm working with discounts, which is money. So as soon as I put that dollar sign, this answer no longer makes sense for money. I have to round to the nearest penny. 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. That 7 tells the 4 to go up by a penny. It's closer to 25 cents than it is to 24 cents. Can't forget the dollars in front, so this becomes part of the answer. $45.25 is the discount. That last step, I want to know how much I'm still going to pay for these Kobe shoes. So I'm going to subtract the discount from the original price. So 180.99 minus $45.25. And the final price that I'm going to pay for those Kobe Bryant shoes is $135.74. So to recap, there were two different methods that we used to find the percent of a number. When you're given the total, you're able to use the decimal method when you move your percentage decimal twice to the left and multiply it by your total. Or this method applies to a multitude of percent problems when you set up a proportion and multiply diagonally and divide by the third number. I hope this helps, and please see your teacher if you have any follow-up questions. Thank you.